Mathematicians, welcome back to our last installment of fractions for this week. And today we're going to kind of go back and just talk about equivalent fractions and how do we find equivalent fractions and what that looks like using an area model. So for this page 61 and 62 of your student book, it's your big fat one, your really big one. Mr. Mack is going to do on page 61, Mr. Mack's going to do A and B. And I'd like you to do C independently and show us that in your picture or describe C in your video. And then on page 62, Mr. Mack is going to do number 2. I would like you to do number 3 on your own. Try number 3 on your own. Mr. Mack's going to do number 4, and then I would like you to try number 5 on your own. So I'm going to do the video for number 2 and 3, or excuse me, number 2 and 4 on page 62, and then I will do A and B on 61, and I would like you to do 3 on the bottom. So basically what we're doing, it says for each of the following pairs of fractions, draw in lines so they have the same number of pieces. Okay, so we're basically essentially making equivalent fractions using the area model. So we're cutting both fractions in the rectangles into the same amount of pieces. Then write the equivalent fraction name beside both and write an equation under each to match the sketch. So let's look at that looks like. So the example they gave was 1/2 and 1/3. They've first had the half shaded in, and then they had the third shaded in. They cut the half into thirds going sideways. And now they have 6 pieces. Out of those 6 pieces, they have 1, 2, 3, 3, 6 shaded in now. And the third, they just cut in half. Now the third, they have 1, 2, 2 sixths, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 shaded in. And the equations underneath, they have 1/2. So 1 times 3 gives them 3 sixths. 2 times 3 gives them 3 sixths. 1 times 2 gives them 2 sixths. 3 times 2 gives them 2 sixths. So whatever you do to the bottom, you gas to the top. So they're multiplying the same number to get the equivalent fraction. Okay, so let's look at that in real time with A. So we have 1/6 and 1/2. So this over here is already cut into sixths. Is there a way we can make this into 6 pieces? Well, if I cut this, well, it's already in half. What if I cut the half in half going across? 1, 2, 3, 4. That would be fourths. Well, let's see. Trying to think if I can make 6 pieces out of this. Maybe if I cut going into thirds going down. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There we go. Now they look a little different than these, but they're the same area. They're essentially the same area. Okay. Because I know that because I have 1, 2, 3 out of 6, which is 3 sixths. So we have 1/6 here, which can stay the same. And now we have 6 over here. We have 6 equal pieces, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And how many are shaded in? 1, 2, 3. Good, 3 sixths. So our equation will be 1/6. That can stay. That doesn't need to change. That's super nice. If you don't have to change into fraction, don't do it. Just leave it the same. Because we could have changed this to twelfths, but why? This one, however, we did have to change. So we're going to start with 1/2. And then how did we get from 1/2 to 3 sixths? Well, let's see. We just multiplied the numerator by 3 and the denominator by 3. Okay. So 1/6 and 3 sixths. And if we added those together, it would be 4 sixths. Or if we took 1/6 from 3 sixths away, it'd be 2 sixths. Okay, so B is 3/4 and 2/5. All right, so this one's going to be a little trickier. The only way that I can make these the same, I think, is if I figure out how I can make 5, what the lowest common multiple for 4 and 5 is. And in this case, if we just multiply 4 times 5, that's going to be our lowest common multiple. There's nothing smaller than 20 that we can break these up into. So This is already, B is cut into fourths going down 1, 2, 3, 4. So to make it into 20ths, we're going to cut it horizontally into fifths. So just try your best. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I put 4 lines, but that makes it cut into 5 pieces going down. So if I 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I have 5 going across. So now I have 20 equal pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay. And then how many of those are shaded in out of my 20? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So 3/4 is equivalent to 15/20. So now we're going to do the opposite here. It's cut into fifths going horizontally, 3, 4, 5. So we want to cut it vertically or up and down by fourths. Easiest way to cut something into fourths is to cut it in half first, and then cut that half in half. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so now I should have 20 equal pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Got it. Now, how many of these are shaded in now? Out of 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8/20. So 2/5 converts to 8/20. So now let's write our equations. So we're going to say 3/4 turns into 15/20. How? So how did we get from 3 to 15? We multiplied by 5, and it should be the same for the denominator, right? Yes, 4 times 5 is 20. 3 times 5 is 15, 4 times 5 is 20. Same thing with the 2/5. How did we get from 2/5 to 8/20? What did we multiply by? The numerator and the denominator, the same number. 2 times 4 is 8, and 5 times 4 is 20. All right, so I'd like you to do the same thing with C, the 6 and the 8. There's a lowest common multiple with the 6 and the 8. You don't have to go all the way up to 48. 6 times 8 is 48. Don't have to go that high, I promise you. There's something a lot smaller that you can do. Hint, hint. All right, so now let's look at page 62. Remember, I'm going to do number 2, and then you will do 3. So Terry and John each got a granola bar from their dad. Terry ate, let's see. Sorry, I have another page here. So Terry ate 3/5 of hers. John ate 2/3 of his. Who ate more and exactly how much more? Use the rectangles below to help solve the problem. So this is one of those things where we're going to cut them and try to make them the same amount of squares in each granola bar, okay? So Terry ate 3/5. So this is hers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is Terry's here. We're going to shade in 3 of them. 1, 2, 3. And this one is John's over here. John ate 2/3. 1, 2. So they're doing this because it's kind of hard to tell. It looks like John ate more just by looking at it, or no, maybe Terry actually. So it's really hard to tell until we actually cut them into the equal amount of pieces, and then we can tell by that. So we have 3/5 for Terry, and we have 2/3 for John. So what number can we split using the 5 and the 3? What's the lowest common multiple? What's 5 times 3? 15. Good. So let's cut each of these into 15 pieces. So they're both already going cut down vertically. So I want to cut horizontally by, since I know it's 3 times 5, I'm going to cut 3 times 5 equals 15. So I'm going to cut the one that's already Terry's, that's already cut in fifths. I'm going to cut by 3 going horizontally or sideways to make my 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay. So Terry out of 15 has eaten 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So she's eaten 9/15. All right, so now let's look at John's here. John has 2/3 cut down vertically. So we want to cut his going the other way by fifths, right? Because 3 times 5 is 15. So just try your best and get as even as you can. Take your time. 1, 2. Remember, you draw 4 lines going across to make 5 equal parts. Ooh, Mr. Mac, that's not very good, but that's okay. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So now I have 15 equal pieces. And let's see how many he ate out of 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I just counted the ones that I had shaded in. This part he already ate. That's already gone. So he has 10 15ths. Look at that. So John has eaten 10 15ths. Terry has eaten 9 15ths. Ooh, okay, so it says blank ate exactly how many more than blank. So I can tell John, so what I'm going to do is write John ate exactly 1/15th, right? Because 10 15th is 1/15th more, one more 15th than Terry. Okay, so 10 15ths minus 9 15ths. Can I write that in here? I'm going to write that over on the margin over here. 10 15ths minus 9 15ths equals 1/15. So we ate 1/15th more. So I'd like you to do number 3. Ryan rode his bike 5/6 of a mile. James rode his bike 7/8 of a mile. Who rode farther? Exactly how much farther? Use the rectangles below to help you. So I'm going to give you a hint on this one because these are kind of small. You're going to have to make really small lines here. Don't do 48 again. 8 times 6 is 48. You can do this by, I'll give you a hint. 6 and 8 can both go into, you probably already know, 24ths. So can you cut 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? So if you go 6 times what is 24? Okay. And then this is eighths. So you're going to cut how many eighths can make 24? 8 times what? So you're going to cut that by 3. Okay. And then shade those in. Let's see if you can do that. Okay. If you need help, I'll help you at our Zoom time. My class. Okay. Sorry. Number 4, I'm going to do, and then I'd like you to do number 5. So find the least common multiple for each pair of numbers. So we've talked about least common multiples in my class, and I've talked about it in our videos as well. So the example is 6 and 8. So you just write the multiples out until you get to a common number. Okay. So for the example, it's 6. So 6, 12, 18, 24, 8, 16, 24. Bing, bing, bing. So 24 is the lowest common multiple of 6 and 8. So for 3 and 5, we're going to go 3, 6, 9, 15. No, Mr. Mac. 3, 6, 9, 12. That's why you don't write in pen, children, ever when you're doing math, unless you're trying to make it pop like Mr. Mac. 18. Okay, I think I can stop. 5, 10, 15. Whoop. You notice that? Look what I just hit. 15 and 15. So 15 is the lowest common multiple of 3 and 5. Okay. So let's do, that's a 15, not a is. That's a 5. That's a 5, I promise. Sometimes I get sloppy with my 5s. All right, so 4 and 5. We're going to count multiples up. So 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. I have a feeling I could stop there. Let's see. Let's do 5s. 5, 10, 15, 20. Whoop. Bop, bop. Look at that. Okay. 2020. 2020. The year that's almost over. The longest year in the history of the world. Maybe. Okay, so 20 is the LCM of, 4 and 5. Now, Mr. Mac is really struggling here to write on the thing, so just write the LCM. Okay, 20. 20 is the lowest common multiple of 4 and 5. So, number 5 says circle the fraction you think is greater in each pair, then find out for sure by rewriting the fractions so they have common denominators. Hint, use the information from problem 4 to help. Finally, use the less than or more than equal sign to compare the two fractions. So the example they give is 3/8 and 2/6. So they made the 8 and the 6, the common multiple is 24. So they changed the top and bottom to 24, or 24ths to the denominator, and then they did the same thing. So this is kind of practice from what we've already been doing. So I'd like you to try number 5, A and B, okay? Using what you've already done in number 2 at the top and number 4 here. So you're going to try to find the common denominator of 3 and 5 for A and 4 and 5 for B, which you already did for here. You already found the common denominators here. Okay? All right, good luck. Good luck, cheetahs. And happy Friday.